Hello, and welcome to the Daily Soap Opera Chronicles. This is the General Hospital review for August 30th, 2016. Before I start, I just want one thing that bugs me on GH before I get into this, and that is these short little scenes, short scene after short scene. I feel like I get whiplash sometimes, and I know they do this maybe like to keep the excitement, because a lot of people have ADD these days. I don't know if that's what it is exactly, but it's too much sometimes. That's how I felt about today's episode. Just a lot of cutting away. They used to do this a lot under Ron C, and I didn't like it. It takes away from the show, in my opinion. But I just wanted to get that out there before I even started the review, because it's hard to keep up when I'm trying to write notes about these things. It's hard to soak everything in. Anyway, we start with Maxie destroying her wedding scrapbook, and Felicia tries to stop her from doing so, but she wants to rid Nathan from her life. Felicia asks her daughter what it would take for her to believe that Nathan loves only her. Meanwhile, Nina and Nathan are talking about Maxie. He says he didn't do the physical act of cheating on Maxie. Nina asks him if he still has feelings for Claudette, however. At the hospital, Claudette surprises a wet Griffin in the locker room who is wearing only a towel. She snatched his clothes to force him to talk to her. We have Ava recalling that Paul was the one wearing the cufflinks, and she realizes Paul may be the serial killer. At the hospital, the power went out, and we re-see Liz getting pushed down the stairs. Monica doesn't know why the backup generator isn't turning on. And I swear this was all like in the first 5 to 7 minutes. Just a lot of things happening with small scenes, as you can see. Nathan swears he loves Maxie, and Claudette only has a negative effect on him. Nathan was angry when he walked in on Claudette and Griffin together. Nina thinks Maxie interpreted his anger for jealousy, which is exactly the case, as Maxie is talking to her mom about it. Griffin wants to get dressed and asks Claudette if she minds. She says she does mind. They have unfinished business, and it started when he kissed her. While all this is going on at the hospital, the backup generator finally kicks in. Liz comes to, and Hayden is walking down the stairs. Dun dun dun. Even though I don't think Hayden was the one that pushed her, she might get blamed for it, as we will see. Griffin finally gets dressed, and he and Claudette argue about their kiss. Eva calls in a favor from Julian's associate Holt for a passkey to the Metro Court. Somehow, the hospital Franco finds Liz in the stairwell, and Hayden is still standing near her. Liz passes out before she can tell Franco what happened. Franco demands Hayden get help. On her way up the stairs, Paul is coming down the stairs. And Nathan goes to the floating rib to see Maxie, so Felicia leaves. He opens up to her and admits he does have feelings for Claudette, but not the one she thinks. He explains the anger and the shame he felt about his marriage to Claudette, and that what she saw when he blew up at Griffin. He swears he does not love Claudette, and to prove it, he tosses his old wedding ring out the door and into the river. Maxie tells Nathan that she loves him and thinks they can make it work as long as Claudette is really out of the picture. Nathan and Maxie, my views on them is, they're just kind of there for me. Nothing too special from what I've seen as I've been watching the show again, but maybe there's a big fan base out there, I don't know. Andre tells Monica that this was an accident. The electric box was tampered with. This shocks Monica, and she asks who would do that. Paul tells Franco he is calling for help. Hayden has ran up and told Finn and Monica and everyone about Liz in the stairwell, so they ask for an emergency crew to go down there. Meanwhile, Griffin can't forget that Claudette came here to get something from Nathan. She explains she got into trouble and wanted his help, but she doesn't need Nathan now that he is here. Griffin asks her to come clean, but before she can explain, Andre interrupts Griffin and tells Griffin that he is needed to help with Liz. Then we have Franco trying to get Liz to come too. At this time, Paul is down there with them and trying to plant in Franco's head that Hayden may have pushed Liz as they were together when Franco got down there. And I do think Franco might be taking the bait on that. Nina and Felisa have a run-in. They both get texts from Maxie and Nathan that they have worked things out. This makes Nina and Felicia happy. They will be in-laws now. Nina and Felicia hug. But Claudette sees them hugging, looking on, being her weird self. Liz at the hospital gets taken into radiology. Hayden asks Franco if Liz is going to be okay. He tells her to cut it out because they both know Hayden would be better off if Elizabeth were dead. Hayden seems surprised by Franco's little outburst there. While Ava had broken into Paul's room at the Metro Court, and she remembers some of their past together in that room, she realizes she never knew Paul and searches for the cufflinks. She fails to find them, but does find several vials of the drug used to kill the patients. And then, of course, we cut to Monica alone at the hospital looking for some doctor to get on the floor, and Paul is behind her with his syringe. This was not as good as yesterday. Yesterday was a good episode. This one was kind of all over the place. Too much going on, which is surprising for a soap. But it didn't really work for me. I wonder how they're going to explain Paul being the killer. It seems pretty random, but maybe they'll have a decent reason as to why. All in all, could have been better, but still a pretty good showing from good old G8. Hope you enjoy the review. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. Please visit boxoftalks.com and please subscribe below on the YouTube channel. See you tomorrow.